Hi there everybody, welcome back to another episode of Comedy Kitchen. Today I'm going to share with you guys a classic salsa roja, and it's going to be a lot of fun. All of that and more coming up right now. Salsa. It's not only a fabulous dance, it's also a delicious condiment. This is a recipe I've been making for 10 plus years, and even as I've blossomed into a mature adult, the recipe has remained unchanged. Alright, this is going to be a classic blended red salsa. I'm not a big fan of making pico de gallo style salsas at home because boy oh boy is that time consuming. I don't have the patience for all that chopping, okay? I'm a busy man, I've got things to do, and I'm lazy. I'm titling this one the last salsa recipe you'll ever need because once you get the basic principles of this recipe down, you will forever know how to make salsa with whatever it is that you have on hand. So hey, let's get started, let's do this. The key to this recipe starts with our dried chilies. Today I'm gonna be using 2 ancho chilies, 2 guajillo chilies, and 5 chiles de árbol. I like to use the ancho and the guajillo because they add a richness and some depth of flavor to the salsa, and the chiles de árbol is gonna add a nice little touch of heat. Feel free to play around with this at home, use whatever you have on hand. Just make sure if you're a wimp when it comes to heat, you're planning accordingly. The first step today is to remove the stems and the seeds from these chilies and then tear them into strips. Next, we're gonna heat up a dry skillet over medium-high heat, and we're gonna add in our chilies, and we're just gonna gently toast these for about 45 seconds up to 2 minutes. This step is gonna intensify the flavor of the chilies, make sure we get a nice, rich salsa. Be very careful not to burn the chilies. We just wanna cook them until they're a little aromatic, a little fragrant, and then we're gonna blend them up with the rest of our ingredients. All right, now comes the fun part. We're gonna add all of our ingredients in and blend this up. I like to use a jar for my salsa, and I'm gonna share a little bit more about that with you guys in just a second. Let's add our toasted chilies, 1 14.5 ounce can of some diced tomatoes. Got a half an onion that's diced up, 3 cloves of garlic, about 3 to 4 tablespoons of some fresh lime juice. Many people like to use a little bit of sugar in their salsa recipes. I like to use just a little bit of carrot, maybe about 1 medium or small carrot. I think it adds a nice little bit of sweetness and balances things out, gives it a well-rounded flavor. All right, let's add in a nice big handful of some cilantro here. It's gonna be about 1 cup of loosely packed cilantro. Last but certainly not least, let's add in a teaspoon of some salt. All right guys, I told you that I like to make my salsa in a jar, and that's because as opposed to using a big blender that I have to clean out afterwards, I prefer to use my immersion blender for this job. Here we go. And voila! Classic, delicious, and very healthy red salsa made in just about 15 minutes. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button because next week I'm gonna show you guys how to make a recipe using this red salsa, and hey, I'll see you then.